Over 250,000 children of legal immigrants, many of them Indian Americans, are at risk of being deported when they turn 21. These young individuals, known as documented dreamers, came to the United States with their parents on temporary work visas. When they reach 21, they lose their dependent status and could be forced to leave the country. Documented dreamers enter the United States legally with their parents, often on temporary work visas like the H-1B visa. While their parents work towards obtaining permanent residency, these children integrate into American society, attending schools and living as any other American child would. However, due to the lengthy green card backlog, many of these children age out of their dependent status before their families can secure permanent residency. According to the Immigration and Nationality Act, a child is defined as someone who is both unmarried and under 21 years old. When these young adults turn 21, they lose their legal status and become ineligible to stay on their parents' visas or be included in the family's green card application. This forces them to either find an alternative immigration status or face the prospect of leaving the country they've considered home for most of their lives. The issue is significant, with over 1.2 million Indians, including dependents, currently awaiting green cards in employment-based categories. The backlog means many families endure years, even decades, of waiting for permanent residency, during which time their children may age out. The consequences of aging out are severe. These young adults, despite growing up in the United States, suddenly find themselves without legal status. They become ineligible for most jobs, cannot apply for driver's licenses in many states, and lose access to in-state tuition rates for college. More critically, they become vulnerable to deportation, potentially forced to leave their families, friends, and the only country they may remember calling home. Efforts to address this issue have gained bipartisan support in Congress with the proposed America's Children Act, which aims to provide a pathway to permanent residency for documented dreamers. Despite this support, legislative action has been slow, with the White House blaming Republicans for the impasse due to their rejection of bipartisan agreements. Advocacy groups like Improve the Dream continue to push for administrative action to raise awareness and push for policy changes. They highlight that the U.S. risks losing young talent and the skilled parents who contribute to the economy. The human cost is evident in the personal stories of those affected. Many report living in constant anxiety, unable to plan for their futures. Some resort to visa hopping, moving between different temporary statuses, while others have been forced to leave the U.S. after aging out, separating from their families and abandoning the lives they've built. Documented dreamers are distinct from DACA recipients. Unlike DACA beneficiaries, who entered the country without legal status, documented dreamers have always maintained legal status but face uncertainty due to the current immigration system's limitations. This situation highlights the need for reforms to accommodate children growing up in the U.S. while their parents navigate the lengthy process of obtaining permanent residency. For more details and ongoing updates, visit visaverge.com.